What would cause us to get up at 4 a.m., pack our bags, hit the airport, fly for 6 hours and cross 3 time zones, and then rent a Jeep? Well, we went to the most remote islands in the world to hunt for one of the rarest beaches on the planet that just so happened to take an off-road vehicle to reach it. Let's go.
Do you believe in magic?
There's an island chain that's 2,400 miles from California and 3,800 miles from Japan. It has 8 independent climate zones, and we were headed to the island that has 4 active volcanoes. And it also has one of only 4 green sand beaches in the entire world. We were here on vacation, but we were also here to find the green sand beach, also known as Papakolea. We were here with our good friends Chris and Elsha, but other friends were meeting us on the island as well. Here's our rental Jeep, which looks great. It's a Sahara, it's a JL, but if you look a little bit closer at the tires, it has like mismatched tires. At least they're all AT tires, but they're different. So that's what you get with a rental Jeep. The rental Jeep, though, was just fine. I enjoyed the punchy 8-speed transmission, and pulling into our house for the week, it was hard to tell whose Jeep was whose because Chris had got the same color. The house, though, was incredible, and it didn't take long for everyone to jump in and cool off in the pool and let island time take over. Although, when the sun went down, we met up with more friends who joined us on the island and started to decompress. After all, we were on vacation, right? Aloha from sunny Hawaii. So, Venture to Roam crew has been here on a family vacation doing awesome Hawaii things, going to the beach, watching the sunrise and sunset, and just totally relaxing. But today we're gonna have a little bit of an adventure. We're gonna go try to find the green sand beach. Now, I've been to this island a few times and have never been there, never found it. So we're about to get in our rigs, drive south, and go find this green sand beach. Let's go. We were staying on the eastern shore of the Big Island and needed to head to the southernmost tip of the island, which is also the southernmost tip of the United States. One of the things you have to look out for on the Big Island is wild goats. Yep, goats.
That is there is a goat crossing the road to join his goat friends. They're just doing a little goat hangout. Bye.
After dodging a few kids, we were headed south on the Mamalahoa Highway, but before we went too far, the overlanders among us were experiencing a little range anxiety, so we stopped at the cheapest place to get gas on the island, Costco. Back on the Mamalahoa, we headed right through Kona, which if you've never been there might be worth checking out, but for those of us who do not like trinkets and cruise ship crowds, it's a hard pass. And for the kids, there was somewhere much, much, much more important to go see. So we're on our way out to the green sand beach. We're heading south on the Big Island, and no road trip would be complete without a stop for some shave ice, so that's what we're doing now. The place we stopped was right on the highway and located in the old Kealia Ranch. It has tons of charm, but most importantly, tons of sugary flavored ice shavings for the kids. Try again. The southern part of the island is a bit greener than the east, but still feels like a post-lava apocalyptic landscape. But as you approach the south point, you start to see rolling grass hills that lead to some of the most beautiful cliffs I've ever seen. South Point is a fishing hole as well as a cliff jumping spot, but there are signs everywhere warning folks not to jump. Looking at the cliff, yeah, it's a hard pass for me. The road to the green sand beach is right next to South Point, but it's a total quagmire of social trails that make it really easy to get lost and really easy to make mistakes that damage the coastline. This is the point where I want to stop and say we strongly recommend anyone considering going there take a close look at local laws that are being enforced and look for local current information on it before deciding to even attempt the drive. The jury is out on whether or not it's acceptable to drive there, but after looking long and hard at the information and seeing some locals make the drive, we decided to give it a go. So we're driving out to try to find the green sand beach right now, and I just want to say that what we're doing is basically taking ownership of this car should we do something to damage it. So this is basically voids the warranty contract on your rental car.
So Chris and I, our plan is to drive out here, see how the road is. If we think it's something that's too technical or something we might actually damage the rig on, we're gonna go back. So anyway, that's what we're doing. And we have chosen to follow a local truck because we don't want to damage the ecosystem out here. There's local trucks that ferry people out to the green sand beach. What we're trying to do is keep our footprint low and have a good time, but also make some reasonably smart decisions on how we get out there. So let's see how this trail is.
The road out there is a mix of soil types, and some of it is pocked with lava rocks, which made me a bit nervous since we had mediocre tires at best, which hadn't been aired down.
What do you think? It's a little rocky. Like I'm a little worried that
It's the
like
stair.
we're not aired down. There's
Yes.
sharp rocks.
So we aired down with the tools we had.
The old stick method.
We didn't air down too much because we weren't sure how good the sidewalls were on our mismatched tires, but we felt better with just a little cushion going over those rocks. Much of the trail is packed dirt that cuts through berms, climbs hills, and takes you through some pretty significant washouts. The stock Jeeps we were driving handled it okay, but I was missing my 35-inch tires and suspension that I have on my Jeep at home. The trail itself wasn't overly technical, but just challenging enough in a stock rig to keep us focused. There were these bathtub washouts caused by erosion of the soil that were quite different than anything we've driven before, but there weren't any obstacles or gatekeepers along the way. Every once in a while we'd see one of the locals ferrying people to and from the beach, and they never looked too happy to see us, but that may have been because we weren't giving them our business. For me, an Idaho mountain boy, driving off-road next to the ocean was so exciting it was hard to keep my eyes on the road. But soon enough, we found what looked like a parking area of sorts and decided to get out and look around.
Whew, okay, well we made it to the green sand beach. I think it's down here somewhere. That was a heck of a drive, a little bit more challenging than I thought it was gonna be, but these Jeeps did great. These are stock Saharas and they handled it just fine.
It would have been easier in a Rubicon, but I have to say this little Sahara did a really good job with a little bit more aggressive tires than stock. Not much, definitely ATs. You just got to pick your lines and take your time, but I don't think we ever lost traction, and overall it was a fun experience.
But now let's go see if we can actually find the green sand.
Papakolea, or the green sand beach, hides from you even when you're right on top of it. It's located in what looks like a caldera with very steep sides all around. So to get down, you have to scale the sides of the caldera. Now locals have made some steps which helps keep you from tripping in your flip-flops and rashing your skin on the lava rocks on your way down. The sand itself is the result of a very rare volcanic eruption where lava is filled with olivine crystals, which then shatter into tiny pieces when making contact with the ocean. It feels like you're on a beach made of emeralds, and even though it's not likely you'll have the place all to yourself, it still feels very much like you found something rare in this world, and we took our time to soak it all in. While the sand is incredible and rare and beautiful, the water here is rough, and we were worried about the kids. So we decided to get back in the Jeeps and set out to find calmer waters.
We did it. We put these Jeeps to the test a little bit because there was a bunch of off-camber stuff on the way out there and on the way back, but these Jeeps are so capable stock, it really wasn't that big of a deal. So it's really fun to be down here at the southern tip of Hawaii, taking off-road trails, finding something. There's only 4 of those beaches in the world, a green sand beach. So it was really cool to go down there. There was a turtle floating in the water. I mean, it was just like
And a baby turtle! To me, I mean, it was definitely green, but it was almost like true gold. Like real gold. Like not shiny gold, right? But like that bronzy, deep gold. It was absolutely spectacular. And the other thing that was so amazing is it's in this little inlet that is very deep. The water was very like I don't know, turbulent. I saw something in the water and I thought maybe it was a shark because I saw this little fin and I was like, that's definitely something in the water, but it turned out to be a turtle with a baby turtle with it. So it was very special and I'm so glad we did the drive. It was totally worth it.
The ocean was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Every time the tide went up and down, when it went down, it would like suck you in. So that was really scary, but it was really pretty, and I would definitely want to go back there again. I was trying to make like a dig site kind of, and the water splashed it all out, and I was very mad.
Both Chris and I were pretty happy with putting a little dirt on these stock Jeeps, but we still had to find a place where the kids could swim without fear of being sucked away by the waves or bashed against the rocks. So we headed north in search of another hard-to-get-to beach.
Okay, we have our zinc sunscreen on. Everyone's like a little whiter right now. And we are walking down this path to try to find this little hidden beach. And it's turning out to be quite the little adventure hike. Kids are loving it. It's really beautiful. Let's just hope the beach is worth it. So here's a little spot we found. Nice little cove. Nobody here. Looks like there's probably some still water out there for snorkeling. But this is not the beach we're looking for. But this is noted for potential little private cove picnic later. Here we are at this little beach we found. I think this is a keeper. There's hardly anyone here. There's shade, there's rocks, beautiful sand, calm waters for the most part. Even though the kids wanted a boogie board, we'll have to make this work for now. What do you think, Kate? Good. Okay.
This little gem of a beach is named Maumea, and because you had to hike a ways to find it, it had very few people at it. So while we didn't have it all to ourselves, we had a lot of it to ourselves. The calm waters made it easy for the kids to swim and snorkel and provided some much-needed sand digging time. We then headed to Kevehea to pick up lunch at a little burger spot and found a nice little spot at Spencer Beach Park to sit and enjoy the food. Hawaii is a constant juxtaposition of beauty and ruggedness, of independence and community, of being far away and feeling at home. There are many more things we did on this trip that had nothing to do with going off-road, and that seemed to fit with the ethos of this adventure. After all, one of the reasons we overland is to get outside and see something we've never experienced before, and these little islands offered us the chance to see some things we'll never forget, with friends who are as close as family. In fact, we didn't fly out of Hawaii until late in the evening on Thanksgiving Day. And so we found ourselves at the Lava Lava Club, sitting in the sand, listening to island music, watching the sunset. This trip reminded us that who you choose to spend your time with in this life has a direct correlation to your happiness. So even though we were far from our families on the most remote island chain in the world, we felt right at home. And you can bet your coconuts we'll do it again.
Well, that's the end of our Hawaiian adventure. What an amazing time with the Taggarts and with our family. Watching the sunset on a final night for Thanksgiving has just been icing on the cake. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. So we are here in the middle of a storm because our flight leaves tonight. So we wanted to come here to this resort and have kind of fun time. But you can see the storm is intense enough that everyone has left the pool. It's just us overlanders left who aren't afraid of a little storm who are riding it out. So we'll see how it goes.
No. Say like, and there's no one in.
And there's no one in the pool except for the Fowlers.